getting ready to seize your first opportunity to come into the ring and start grandstanding and hot dogging, yeah!
I can't help it that I look good, smell good, woo, can dance all night long.
When we speak, our voices are heard. We all say, I bring it.
Welcome to the wrestling podcast that hits you harder than a stone cold stunner. Welcome to Malice Corp Smack Talk. I'm your host, Masonic Vader. With me tonight is Marty.
Good to be back. Let's get this thing rolling.
About damn time, too. You've been missed. Thank you very much.
No,
and
he has really been missed.
He hasn't seen that cast that we did without him. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
no,
All right.
but I did listen to part of it, and then I realized how much I really was missed, and then tuned out for a moment.
Yeah.
Fast forward to the last 5 minutes. You're good. And then there's MindFreak right there.
Right here. What's up, everybody? Back once again. Let's get to it.
Yeah, man. Exciting week, man. Exciting. Before we jump into what's going on, let's just take a minute. Unfortunately, we did lose a legend this weekend. A big Vader, Vader, whatever you want to call him, passed away over the weekend. I think it was Monday afternoon and stuff. It sucks, man. It really sucks to see these guys like with me in particular. I grew up on these guys and to see them start going. I mean, you get to that age. Vader, man, holds a little bit of a special place in my heart only because of the simple fact that my nickname from college football, and then it was also Vader as well. So, and we kind of share the same color hair resemblance. So, some of my favorite matches. I mean, unfortunately, I didn't see a lot of them in WCW. I saw a lot of them in WWE. And man, those matches he had with Taker and Kane and stuff, man, those are great matches, man. He was a really good ring performer, really big guy that could really move like a freaking Tito Santana or someone like so lightweight, just runs around the ring. He was an awesome person to watch. What's your guys' thoughts on Vader?
Yeah, he was definitely someone I remember growing up watching on different shows, both organizations. He also kind of like just held something a little bit different. He was the first one that I remember seeing like cross-platform, with the exception of like Hogan and Macho and Warrior and a couple other guys. But he was like the first wrestler that I saw that was crossing platform TV shows and movies and stuff like that. And he was on shows that I used to watch, and so like seeing him, it was like the first person I used to resonate with. So yeah, he kind of holds true to my childhood as well.
MindFreak, you got anything on?
I was really young when he was around wrestling, kind of the big time names. Did see highlights of some of the matches, that he did have. And I was impressed. I mean, wrestling back then, wrestling now, I mean, they're separate entities in their own way, but it's still wrestling all the way. So, another legend that's just gone a little too soon.
Yeah, and what I really appreciated about him wrestling himself was that he did things that big men wouldn't do. He'd do freaking moonsaults or freaking jumping off the top rope. And I mean, he was insane. And he comes out with that freaking big ass piece, mastodon helmet, shoulder pad set. That was just freaking awesome, man. He was a big ass guy that probably scared the crap out of people doing some of those moves. And it was quite impressive, man. So it's, rest in peace, Vader, man. Thank you for all the memories and, prayers out to his family. And of course the wrestling fans out there really follow him deep, man. You'll be missed, but you'll also be a legend in your own time, and hopefully WWE will give him that Hall of Fame notch, even though he should have got it before he passed away. So once again, rest in peace, Vader. Let's move on to the show. So we got some busy week, man. Busy week. We'll go that same format we've been running to for the last couple times. I wanted to jump into the NXT. NXT had a huge week. They had the UK tournament, even though it wasn't necessarily NXT at first. If you didn't see it, spoiler alert here. Spoiler. If you don't like it, just pause it, fast forward, do whatever. NXT is going Europe. Announced during the tournament that Triple H is going to be taking the NXT brand, and he said it a year and a half ago. He's going to make this thing global, and he's starting now with NXT Europe. They're going to be starting it off with obviously they have their the European Championship, and they're going to be forming a tag team division, a women's division, and it's going to be a show on WWE Network. And they announced it with a phenomenal show. It was 4.5, almost 5 hours of two different shows. Started off with the championship tournament where they had the run through to get to the final, where Zach Gibson won the first day tournament. My thoughts of the show was, man, I got to familiarize myself with some of these new wrestlers from the UK. Really dug some of the things they were doing. Some of the moves they were definitely performing, like freaking Mod, man. That guy's coming out with the crazy suit and everything and doing a freaking wraparound ring post, freaking Hurricanrana. I mean, it was great. They came with their A game, and what made the show awesome was from the minute it started was the freaking fans. British fans are insane. I don't care, soccer, wrestling, rugby. Man, they are nonstop. You put a little alcohol in them, and it gets 10 times better. And from the minute that show started, those fans were on it like nothing else. And they really dug it. You saw it in the second show when the second day when the NXT actually came over and Adam Cole, like they all about Adam Cole, man. I don't know how many times they said Adam Cole, baby, but it went, man. It was a great show. The first day, like I said, was the tournament. Zach Gibson won the tournament, went into the next day. Some of my thoughts about the first day of the tournament, it was good to see Jack Gallagher get in there and mix it up again instead of doing all this crazy stuff he's been doing on 205. I'd rather see Jack Gallagher actually be a wrestler and do what he's doing than the side gig stuff. And then I was very impressed with Zach Gibson as a whole. It was nice to see the ladies out there as well. I just got to introduce myself to a lot of these guys, so a lot of these names I'm going to miss this time. But as this NXT Europe goes around or England goes around, I'm going to get to know them better. What were your guys' thoughts on the first day with the actual tournament? What were some of the highlights from the matches you remember?
I got through a few of the matches. I will say, like, seen some of these other superstars that are out there in the UK, and I'm not a biggest fan of Jack Gallagher, so seeing some of these other wrestlers that are out there really made me notice how much better they are than him, and how much more entertaining they are, and how unentertaining he is, at least to me. I mean, in that first match I saw with him, I was more entertained by, like you said, the fans in the stands. They really get going. They're excited. The fact they have a WWE brand out there, they get behind that, because other than that, they really don't have like the big name top line wrestling programs out there. They ever said even the UK tournament last year, they've had every time that the UK has an event, they're loud, they're making some noise, and they become more entertaining in the match. And I was more entertained by them than I was the Gallagher match. And he just does things like, when he lays in the middle of the ring, like, hey, come and grab me, come and get in the hole. It's like, oh man, just stand up and fight. Let's just get this going. It's supposed to be like, you come off like you're a street knuckle, like bare knuckle boxer, brawler, like just with the kind of like a gentleman jack. It just doesn't work. And there's only one thing when it comes to gentleman jack, I like mine neat and in the glass. That's all it comes down to. There was a.
Yeah, I'll throw this out there really quick on Jack Gallagher. When he first got introduced last year, man, I liked his original persona. The new stuff where he's a classic boxer kind of guy, I agree.
The classic boxer reminds me so much of the Vaughn villains.
Yes.
Just one person. Okay?
And he did it better than both of them.
I mean, Aiden doing his own thing with Rusev Day is great.
We're talking about Aiden as Rusev Day.
We're talking about Vaughn villains, man.
No, Vaughn villains.
That's like talking about Janetty and Shawn Michaels instead of talking about Shawn Michaels with Triple H.
Or John Cena when he's going to rap versus John Cena now. All right.
Fruity Pebbles.
But go back. Jack Gallagher, when he first came in, like last year when he introduced to the tournament, when he's doing the turnbuckle, like on his shoulders, putting his foot out, turning all these crazy moves on people, like he's got him on the mat, and instantaneously just twists and puts his arm. That's the Jack Gallagher I want to see. The old school retro 1920s boxer hanging out with freaking Brian Kendrick and Brian Kendrick and Drew Gulak. Yeah, I'm not digging it, man. I like the fact he's a bad guy, but they need to put back some of that old stuff with the bad guy. But yeah, MindFreak, what was your expectations like the first day of the tournament? Did you see anything remind you anything about it?
The fans. I know we could say though. I mean, overall the tournament was good. I mean, there's some good matches. Some of it's like, but I mean, same kind of idea. You know, it's a bunch of new guys, a bunch of new people. You know, just trying to learn their names, seeing what they're about. Gibson though, I was really impressed with Zach Gibson. That's me saying that. I thought he did well throughout the entire tournament, and I know we'll kind of talk a little bit more about him as we get into day 2 of that. But overall,
here's another wrestler that caught my eye. Coffee.
Yes, I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah, Coffee's a big man that can move, man. I was very impressed. It was my first introduction to him, and he's got some skills. I think he's definitely a bright spot, especially for the fact that on the following night they introduced his brother that night, and then the following night we find out his brother actually wrestles too. So the Coffee brothers, but Coffee in particular, I was on the tournament, man. He was really good. He had some good moves. I actually thought he might have made it to the finals. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with him as NXT England starts up and everything, the UK.
Yeah, he reminded me of like the skill set and just the bigger guy. You know, just reminded me of like a Samoa Joe. Only a personality that I can get behind and actually enjoy because I can't stand Samoa Joe. But he stood out to me coming out of that tournament as well.
He was to me, it was like a UK Rhino. UK Rhino, man. That's what he was.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just a big ass dude. His shorts are too high, but UK Rhino, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this guy and now with his brother. Because as you go into day two was really the highlight of the entire show because it did introduce. They did talk about how the fact they are going to do the UK. They announced that Johnny Saints, the general manager, he's going to be running the show, kind of like how William Regal's doing it there. Interesting how 2 British guys are running the NXT right now. So apparently they're doing something right in England we haven't seen yet. So
not even that, but even Finley's kind of behind the NXT on the American side as well. So that's 3 UK guys.
Yeah, so you go into the second day, and now you have all the NXT champs and all their players right now going against the Euro players, and the match of the night for me, honestly, was the opening match, was the tag team match. Seeing Mustache Mountain pulling off the upset against Air. The match was awesome. I've seen Tyler Bates since last year when he won the tournament. Very impressed with that kid's strength. The way he's been the way he was able to carry him up when they had him in the choke, and then all of a sudden he grabs Roderick Strong, and then he just freaking plexes both of them at one time, dude.
Or I think it was him too. Or no. I'm thinking of Ricochet. What is it? Was it Ricochet? I can't remember who it was because I saw it happen twice. I think it was Ricochet, but we'll get to the part later on.
Yeah, that match was awesome. Tyler, and then you got Seven, his partner, been wrestling for so many years. This was his first major break.
Yeah, and something that I noticed with Seven, this is just me being a hockey fan, he kind of looked like Alexander Ovechkin a little bit with like the smile on the way his hair, but that was just me.
I saw him, I was like,
exactly, he's a winner. I was just like, wait, when did Ovi start wrestling? You know, that kind of thing.
He has to do something in the offseason, man.
Exactly, man. But no, absolutely, hands down. I mean, like looking back at some great matches with NXT. I mean, in the tag team division. I mean, Undisputed Era puts on good matches. And look at Mustache Mountain. Look how well they did. Too.
It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with that, since they are going to come out with the NXT UK brand. How are they going to keep them in regular NXT, or are they eventually going to move them over there? It's interesting. It's good to see. And like I said, with not only Tyler Bates, but Seven, man. Seven has been doing this now for 15 years. I've been doing some research on him since I originally saw him last year in the tournament when him and Tyler Bates went one-on-one and Tyler Bates won. That dude's got some mad skills. I mean, we're catching him, unfortunately, on the back end of his career, but he's still got some really good moves. His personality is top notch. The mic skills are there. I'm excited to see what they do with him in NXT. I think they need a tag team like that to kind of start getting the tag team division in NXT hot again, because as we've talked about in shows past, it's NXT as a whole is going through a little bit of a shift, and this was just what they needed to inject some life back into the show, which I'm very excited about. Marty, what kind of thoughts do you have on the championship shows? I mean, there's another match. There's a couple more matches, obviously, I want to talk about, but like, for example, the tag team match. What do you think about it?
I just got some of the highlights and kind of seen everything because I wanted to kind of see caught up when I was watching NXT from last night and something happened. So then I was like, oh, wait, I need to see. I didn't catch that part in the tournament, so I need to go back and watch that part. So I went and saw some of that, and I thought it was a great match. I mean, just personally, I'm a big fan of the Undisputed Era, and I think what they do in all of them, even when all four of those guys are just, great in the ring. And then, Tyler Bates, I've kind of always been a fan of him since I actually first started coming up. But seeing them together and teaming up, and then that match, I just thought the match they had the chemistry together, and not even just them, but the chemistry with Undisputed Era. Like before, they just worked really well together. Just reminiscent of the great tag team matches that we had in the early the 90s and early 2000s. But it is going to be interesting to see what they do with that, because they are a British group. I don't see them maybe having cross promotion where they might show up in both shows. But I don't see it because they already are on NXT, and NXT is kind of like that. You're either here and then going up into the main roster. I feel like you bring that to, it'd be great to help get the UK rolling and start going. At the same time, it's like, okay, we're going to bring you to this where nobody's watching yet and try to get you built up again where now all these eyes are already on you. It'd be no different than having some, like Roman Reigns come down to NXT to get in some different kind of character build on him. You're already starting to progress towards a higher level, and then to have it kind of go back, I just felt like that might be a step back. So interesting to see what they're going to do. I think that the story that the program they're going to get between them and Undisputed Era going forward is going to be a really entertaining one. That's going to be able to get some other players involved in this program as well.
Absolutely, yeah, and I like the fact that they're called UK Strong Style when they team up with Gunn. Yeah, British Strong Style. I love that. And I'll tell you, if you're a wrestling fan, there's nothing better. Like we've already mentioned it so many times, man. These British fans were just into this show both nights and everything. When they won those belts, when that third count went down, man, that freaking place blew its lid. That was got to be one of the biggest pops I've seen in a long time. That's not a huge arena, but they made it sound like it was like WrestleMania. I mean, they were ecstatic, man.
Which, with that pop they got, it just made the look of disappointment and defeat on Strong's face just that much better. Like,
absolutely, absolutely. And so you go from there, and then you go to the next match: Adam Cole versus Wolfgang. Another good match. Wolfgang proved a lot. Showed himself last year in the tournament. He did really well. He actually lost to Adam Cole in that tournament, so this was their rematch a year later. Except obviously now Adam Cole had the North American Championship. Now, interesting about this one is that last year Wolfgang was a fan favorite, and as I mentioned just about 5 minutes ago, man, Adam Cole had the British fans eating out of their hands. That was a great match again. I don't think there was one bad match this entire night. That was definitely a great match. Adam Cole ends up getting the win over Wolfgang. Wolfgang was definitely not a face, which was interesting.
Yeah.
And then your second biggest pop, and I almost want to say it's as close as you're going to get to probably being the best pop, was the fact that you have the standard Adam Cole baby. They did a 3-pack on that, man. Right? He was about to ring the match and leave the ring, and they're like, one more time, and then he made it loudest as all, man.
He ate it. He ate it. He built it up. It was I was going to bring that up too. That was the second, if not close to the loudest pop of the night.
Absolutely.
In the kind of momentum that Adam Cole does have in and of itself, it's fantastic. And I can't wait to see him come up to the main roster and see him get great programs.
That's the great thing about the UK is that they're more. I mean, they get the watch WWE, but they're really in tune with worldwide wrestling. And whether that's Ring of Honor or that's New Japan, and they do have a lot of performers that are over there. But obviously, being closer, they probably get more access to that than we do in the States, much faster than we do. Adam Cole was a major star and performer in New Japan, so the exposure to Adam Cole, and then not just being the UK itself, they know how big of a star he is. Whereas here, not many people who watch him in NXT and in WWE don't really know him in his past. They kind of glance over, they hear it, they see what it is, but they don't know him from the Bullet Club or anything like that. UK, comes down Bullet Club, started by UK, you know what I'm saying? So
they know him enough to where they know Adam Cole, baby, right off the bat.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, like, the exposure he has already over there, he's going to get a bigger pop out there, which is awesome. And I think, like, having that star on that roster, be able to go there and show up and be there that night, was great for not only him, but for the brand itself.
Yeah, I'm going to put this on my bucket list, man. I'm going to go see NXT in Florida, and then I'm going to somehow go see matches in England. I want to be in that mess. I want to experience that, dude. That energy level. I see it in soccer matches all the time, but man, when you put it inside a cage like that, inside the bottle, man, it's insane. I was loving those matches, and that right there was like the epitome of it right there.
Yeah, not only look at that. Look at the UK tournament they had over there, which for the UK title was phenomenal, and but then look at when AJ won the belt over there, the place went crazy for that, and so it's like at every level, at any brand, whatever it may be, they are always popping like that nonstop. That just goes to show you what kind of like fans they have in the UK.
Well, and I think the other like turn of the pot too, the other thing that kind of brings to it too, is the fact that also with them, they don't necessarily get a lot of live shows out here compared to what we do in the States. So when they go out there to the UK, of course, they're going to be loud. They're going to give the pops. And
not only that, but let's remember that there's a certain age out there that's a little bit lower than it is here in the States.
Yeah, this is true. That is true. That makes
helps out a lot more in those games.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, let's give a shout out to Marty as he's upgraded his earphones to headphones. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
It's like you finally let them drop. They drop, dude. That's good, bro. They good.
He's no longer the call-in.
And as we keep moving on, I want to give a quick shout out. If you look at the top left-hand corner, Malice Corp is our site, man. That's our parent site. They're the ones responsible for letting us do what we're doing right here. It's a phenomenal site that's all things geek and nerd. There's a lot of cool stuff going on right now. There's a lot of movies. There's a lot of comic books, man. Comic-Con in San Diego is coming around the corner here. Check out that site. There's a lot of other podcasts that are off there as well. There's the main podcast, which is every Friday night at 8 p.m. on Twitch. You could also watch the back shows on YouTube. They also have a Quest for 100 where Beacon and Big Papa Matt are trying to watch 100 movies throughout the year and give their reviews. Comics for All. There's just so much stuff on there. So whenever you get a chance, check out the site. It's a fun site. And there's some great articles that are going through there. One will be coming around here about some crazy wrestling podcast on a nerd show or something. So thank you very much to Malice Corp. Let's go back. I plugged it in shamelessly, and I'll plug it in later. We got a couple more matches I wanted to chat about. For the sake of time, because I want to make sure we get through Raw and SmackDown and everything, Aleister Black and Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream and EC3. Now, you guys know I'm a fan of Ricochet and Velveteen Dream. I love the match. It was a great match.
And to go with this real quick, I know it was here last week, and I listened to the cast, and I know you guys are talking about him coming out like Hogan and having the cheetah prints. I had to make sure you guys knew the backstory on those cheetah print pants. You guys know the backstory on those cheetah print pants?
Yeah, we mentioned it was what was it again, MindFreak? I forgot, man, because I'm running on 3 hours of sleep, bro.
I am too. I am.
Yeah, go ahead and throw it out there.
I didn't remember hearing you say it. I was like, wait a minute, how they not hit that point?
Go for
Man,
it.
that was some dark shade. He was done at Ricochet because those were the Ricochet pants that he used to wear in Ring of Honor in New Japan. So it's he was wearing those pants.
Was it like some cat or something like that? What was his name then?
Man, I can't remember his name. What it was?
Because I think we mentioned the name, but I just I didn't go into detail with it. And
yeah. Full blown shades right in front of his face.
It was awesome, man. Yeah.
So the one highlight I wanted to bring up, and the reason I got this one confused, because he also did the same move when he teamed with Mustache Mountain on NXT last night, which we'll get into in a little bit. But you see that move where he did the backbreaker with the DDT, where the two guys.
Oh, absolutely! Yeah, that was sick.
When I saw that, I was just like, what just happened? That was just ingenious and just like amazing.
Tied him in a knot and gave it to him both. That was awesome. Yeah.
But I do want to mention though the fact that Aleister and Ricochet looked really good together. Really good. And like the mind games and the stuff that doing stuff that they each other's move. The flips off the rope and then just going down the sitting position. It's like, come on, guys, we'll wait for you. It was fantastic.
Absolutely, yeah. That match was a great match. It just, with all the other stuff they had going on and everything, it's just like, hey, it was a great match. Let's move on to the championship matches we had. Shayna Baszler versus, okay, Tony. Thank you very much.
We all have a plug. I have Alexa. Marty has Mandy.
I don't get it, man. Tony, it's those Tony Storms, the AJ Lees. They're the they're not the Mandy Moore like back in the day. Trish Stratus was it, for some reason, man. Tony Storm finally. I saw her in the Mae Young Classic last year, and okay. Taking the guy thing out of it, she is a great wrestler, and I've been doing a lot of follow-up with her and stuff, and she's been touring around Japan and everything. She's been winning multiple championships, and that was just in between doing the Mae Young Classic and now. And we mentioned it 2 casts ago that WWE was looking at signing her. It looks like they've done it. And what a great addition to the roster. I am exceptionally happy to have her on there because NXT needs that kind of name brand or that kind of pop to go with it because Shayna Baszler, now once again, she wins. And I'm going to tell you, Shayna Baszler won in impressive fashion. She did a great job with the match. Once again, though, and like you said earlier, I think on the last podcast when it was just you and I, MindFreak, man, she looks a lot different when she's doing promos and she's in that ring, man. Shayna Baszler is just a whole 2-story tour kind of thing. Yep. But it was a great match. I really enjoyed it. Tony came out there and she rocked it, man. And and she really had that match going. That's the type of person that Shayna Baszler needs to have competition with because she carried that match. Baszler, I'm not saying Baszler didn't do her thing. Baszler's whipping the crap out of her, but Tony took it and really made that and sold it. And that's what I really did appreciate it. It would have been nice to see her win it, but of course, they're not going to let her win it the first night. We've got to have a feud going on here because, we always want to see more Tony Storm.
Yeah, she definitely brings a level of legitimacy to the women's NXT roster. One that was kind of starting to feel like it was depleted. And I believe they signed Diana too, but they, they're starting to bring in these female superstars from other promotions that are trying to backfill those that already moved up to the main roster, and are definitely adding legitimacy to it. And she's one of them that just takes it to a whole new level.
Oh, absolutely. It's like you said a couple shows ago too. Like they needed to do something with the women's division of NXT. Because they dumped half the roster. I mean, we lost, most of, a lot of the good women. Not necessarily saying that they're all bad, but the ones that were ready to move up, they moved up, and it's kind of, the women's division kind of looked a little bland with the addition of Toni Storm and some of these other female competitors. I'm excited to see where this goes now, and the kind of different programs we're going to be able to have.
Now, in the pre-show, I mentioned this, and I'm gonna say it again, just because I'm gonna be interested to see how the UK women get influenced now, or get more how it happens, how it changes. They're going to have access to Full Sail University, to the training center. They're probably even going to open up something very similar to it if they haven't done it already in the UK. I want to see what happens, because they introduced about 5 or 6 ladies over the 2 days. Killer Kelly. I'm trying to remember a couple of the other names. There was too many of them coming at me. And so we saw about 4 or 5 of these wrestlers. Killer Kelly just kind of stuck out because of the name, and she actually had some good matches and everything. But it seems like the UK women are a little slower, or a little bit more, what do you want to call it, where you just see it happening. You see what's going to happen. It's not flowing as much as, like, say, an Ember Moon or Asuka, or even Toni Storm. So it'll be interesting to see the development of them, because you could definitely see the fans are behind them, and you could definitely see that those wrestlers are all the female wrestlers are all about being where they're at, and they know they have the opportunity. I'm really interested to see how they're able to make those wrestlers, how they change and how they evolve, and how it becomes so much more.
And I think looking at 6 months from now, after they get this going, we're really going to see how much value and how much Triple H really has in this, and what he's really worth. Obviously, we know what he's done with these 2 brands and what he's doing, and with the company. And but obviously, we see how these women are, and how they just really weren't, not really necessarily lethargic, but like you said, you kind of can predict what's going on. They don't really sell as much as some other superstars performers do. So a lot of training going forward for them, trying to get them up to the rest of standards of what WWE is expecting. This might be the first time that some of these women really get the practice and repetition and work-ins that that some of these other people have been getting for years. So I think looking at 6 months from now, with the training staff that they have there, with the mentors they have on staff, and Triple H overseeing it, seeing where these women are in 6 months.
Yeah.
It's just going to build more stock in Triple H, and just show what he's going to be able to do later on with people that, once he fully takes over his organization. Again, that's a long time away, but these are this is his brand, and he's putting putting everything into it, and it's fantastic.
Absolutely, yeah. And once again, go back to the match. Great match. I think it was so far out of Shayna Baszler's matches, I think it was her best one. And having her come back out at the end and just doing the choke out again just kind of adds more to that villainy that she's had. I mean, she's right now getting that heat, and she's earning it, and it's good. It'll be interesting when they get the rest of the 4 horsewomen in with her and stuff. So final match of the night. We've got, of course, now my 3 hours just goes in. Thank you very much.
Gibson.
Thank you, Gibson. Yeah, for the championship and everything. Gibson versus Dunn. I actually, like you said earlier, I didn't know much about Zach Gibson, but after watching him run through the tournament, I was excited to see the match, and man, it came through. Pete Dunne and Gibson was a great match. I loved the pre, like the announcing. You could just see it, just the electricity flowing through them just by announcing their names. And you could see how the fans were a little bit torn, even though they were giving Gibson they were booing him. You could also tell they were also excited for him because he's local boy and everything. It was just, you just felt everything happening, man. It was awesome, and the match as a whole, phenomenal. I'm starting to see the value of Pete Dunne. When I saw Pete Dunne at first, when he won the championship from Tyler Bates, I wasn't seeing it yet. The whole, like, put his fists up here, biting the belt and doing all this stuff. I wasn't getting it.
Cruiserweight, man.
I get. You know what? I'm getting it now, man. I'm totally getting it now, dude. He is definitely selling himself to the craft, and you could see the advancement. And I'm in. I'm finally in on Dunn. I think his last 3 or 4 matches I've seen with NXT and now with the tournament has sold me. And it's not like he wasn't a good performer then. I just wasn't seeing it. I wasn't seeing it yet. And he's a great champ. He's definitely earned it. And this Gibson rivalry is going to be solid.
Yeah,
go for it.
It's a good way, like with this rivalry, it's a good way to start out with like a good, solid, like, feud, like a legitimacy with the feud when the NXT UK takes off. I mean, we don't know if the UK Championship is going to be the main championship belt. I mean, we don't know what's going on with that, stuff like that, but it's a good way to, hey, you have a legitimate feud for something big to kind of start off the show with. that's my 2 cents on it. You know.
Yeah, Marty, what do you think, buddy?
Well, I haven't, with all the catching up on all the shows I've had over the last week after my assignment offsite. I didn't get to catch that match yet. But yeah, I mean, as far as Dunn goes, I've kind of been in the same boat. I haven't really been sold on him yet, to where the matches come up. It's like, okay, I'll have it on background. So knowing that this match is a great match, just something obviously on my list to watch and catch up on by the end of the week. But yeah, that's kind of where I've been to, kind of waiting for that moment to where he kind of shines and shows what his true value is.
Yeah, and to recap, or just to kind of give my final touches on it, I'm excited to see what NXT does. This was a big coming out party for NXT UK, which is great, and I think you kind of hit it at the end. This was something I was going to talk about. If NXT UK comes through and is able to capture the lightning that NXT has already, you're going to see some major changes with WWE within the next 2 years and how things are run, because that's going to be the piece for Triple H. I mean, it's not that he hasn't done it already. It's not like he hasn't earned it. But if he could simulate and do the same exact thing that he's done with NXT and change it into NXT UK and potentially other places as well, it's safe to say that Raw and SmackDown, who's ever produced them, is going to get a change. Or it's going to be that time where Vince McMahon is probably going to feel comfortable enough to finally, step out of the light and eventually just kind of, hey, I'm going to retire. I'm going to let these guys run it. Triple H has the show.
Not only that, but look at the next couple of years to follow that timeline. In the next 2 years, XFL is going to be starting up and coming back at that point. So that lets him focus on other aspects of his business and his industry and his empire, and lets Triple H run that program and let him run wild with it.
XFL, woo! Oh man, yeah. All right, Vince, come on, dude. Yeah, no, it was a great weekend, and I hope my producer make sure they hashtag British fans, WWE, whatever, because I want those guys to jump on board. If you're a British fan and you actually see our podcast here, I'm telling you right now, dude, we love you guys, and we're gonna be speaking nothing but highly about you for a long ass time, because you made that weekend awesome, man. Those 2 days were phenomenal, and I'm sold. And please, could someone get me a ticket out there? I'm begging someone to fly me out to London so I can watch a show live, and I'll even do a show live, man. I'll bust out Twitch and we'll go live right there, man. But that was NXT as far as the UK tournament. They did have a regular show that, for time's sake, we're just gonna pump through what we're gonna be seeing here in the future. Obviously, we're talking Aleister Black and Ciampa. Ciampa, yeah, I think Ciampa gets an opportunity finally. He's definitely proved it with the matches with Gargano. I mean, personally, everyone who's watching this probably wants to see Gargano win a championship, but at the same time, Aleister Black needs somebody like a Ciampa right now, because Lars Sullivan did it, but now you've got someone that could actually go ring style with him and actually could match him, maneuver. It's just not power; it's everything.
Right. Not only that, but if you look at, Ciampa and Gargano, they're 1-1 right now. And this was mentioned last night in Gargano's promo, saying that he's going to go out there for basically the rubber match before being shut down by Regal. Ciampa getting this opportunity to go at Black and try to get this belt, and hopefully I hope he gets this belt, will only elevate this program with Gargano. And the two of them in this feud, I mean, this is a real feud. Like, this isn't just like in-ring matches and, they're going to go back and forth and they fought in a couple matches. This is a match, this is a program and a rivalry that is personal to both of them. Friendship, his wife getting involved, and, all the different things. This is a feud that can go on forever, But if you give Ciampa that belt eventually and Kane from Black, it's going to elevate the program with Gargano for that third time. And I think that the matches that we can see, the program we can see between Black and Ciampa, are going to be just fantastic matches.
Yep, and I don't know. I think there's a SummerSlam coming around here soon. All right. Next thing, Next rivalry we see coming out of this, Ricochet versus Adam Cole. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you imagine what's going to happen in that ring with the two of them in there?
Oh,
my goodness.
It'll be fantastic. I'm excited.
I don't even want to really talk about it too much. It's like doing a trailer for a movie that you really want to see too many times, you know? It's like I'm excited to see what happens out of this. I'm really hoping it comes.
Let's just leave it at that. We're excited about it. Let's see where it goes.
Oh,
no more needs to be said.
Yep. And then moving on to the last one, man. EC3 and Gargano. My thoughts originally on this, and I'm going to hold to it a little bit right now just because I want to see where it comes. I'm still waiting on EC3. I'm still waiting. I said this 2-3 podcasts ago, and right now, man, he's reminding me of John Cena starting out all over again. That's where I'm at right now. He's got the physical appearance. His attitude's kind of like the same, you know. It's just except he's not rapping. But they had to do something with Gargano. They can't send Gargano up just yet because NXT wouldn't be able to recover. He's one of the NXT favorites, and if you lose Gargano, well, fan base is going to go with it, a good chunk of it. And at the same time, I don't think Gargano wants to leave NXT yet because he hasn't really been able to, get that belt or grab that brass ring. So this is just them trying to do something with Gargano. To me, it's just looking like they want to do something with Gargano until they can kind of hold off until either Ciampa gets the belt or they can freaking fight it out one more time.
And to go with that, I think it's going to do a couple things. One, I think this is going to be EC3's coming out party. Obviously, we've seen him have some decent matches, some great matches since he's been here. But this is going to be the program that gets EC3 on the map and essentially going to get into the elevation to the level to where once Gargano or Ciampa or John moved up, even Adam Cole moved up. This puts him at the next tier to where he could be the one that shuffles and slides right in with Ricochet or Dream and kind of take over to the next generation. So I think that's going to help him get elevated by going against Johnny Wrestling. But it's also, I think this is going to tell a different story for Johnny as far as if we have Ciampa going for the belt with Black, it does have that where does Gargano go? Well, it has him going back towards, not necessarily starting from the bottom, but working his way back up, trying to get that opportunity to get that third matchup. If he's already been, publicly, told by Regal, you're not getting, the program's done, you're not getting that opportunity. Well, now it's the point where he's got to earn that point to get that opportunity again. So I think this is going to be, we're going to see a fall down for Gargano. He's going to be trying to come back for Ciampa, but for a different reason than he should be coming out there. And I think by having him take a couple, programs to EC3, one's going to help him build that story of his comeback, but also elevate EC3. So I think out of the 3 programs, this could potentially be the biggest one out of all 3 of them.
Yeah. I hope so, because I can see the potential, but I don't know if it's the wrong persona for EC3, the top 1% or something, but it's just not, to me, it's just not hitting me yet. It's not resonating. It's not making that impact. Like Aleister Black came in right off the bat. Holy crap, made an impact. Lars Sullivan, man, he didn't even do anything. It was just his presence made an impact. Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, these guys all made impacts the minute they walked in. People are excited about EC3, but it hasn't been something that's punched you in the face yet. And I don't know, like I said,
it's kind of his persona and character is the same as it was TNA, and I think that kind of, if you don't pay attention, if you're strictly WWE, you don't really know that persona, and so they come in trying to use the same mentality behind him. All these other guys that kind of built a different story, kind of rebuilt them in their program. But as far as EC3 goes, he's still kind of going with that TNA program. And so I think it's not resonating yet until they really see what he's doing in these one-on-one with these higher caliber programs that he hasn't really had yet.
Well, I could tell you, man, Ricochet's made an impact on me. Adam Cole's made an impact on me. All these guys have come in and made significant impacts on the show. And EC3, and I'm just going to throw it out there. If he's using something that TNA was using, they need to ditch it. I've only seen TNA things work only a couple times, and one of them's in fruition, which is the Jeff Hardy angle. Matt Hardy's angle is the only other thing I've seen come out of TNA that's actually worked. So I'm hoping he picks it up because I see the potential. I'm not giving up on EC3, but I don't know if that persona is just – if he's not playing it right, if they're not giving enough exposure, if they're not using it right. I don't know what it is, but it just hasn't smacked me in the face like Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah.
Or like
freaking
Ricochet.
That's what it is. It comes down to exposure.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at the last few, even since WrestleMania, if you look back since the ladder match they had that weekend, you really haven't seen EC3 showcased in a prominent role since then, where everybody else has definitely had their screen time and their high caliber matches.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. That's NXT wrapped up in a nutshell and a nice little bow and everything for you guys. If we missed anything, please put something in the comments below so we can definitely check it out for you and everything. As we now move on, we're gonna flow over to let's go over to Raw. That's the next segment there and everything. We'll talk about what happened with Raw. I know that we're also going to kind of go Raw, SmackDown, and then we'll come back to Marty after that as well. But Marty, let's take over, man. Tell us about Raw, bro.
Raw, I think we had a pretty solid Raw this week. A lot of things happened. Ziggler Rollins for the rematch. That was a great match.
That was a fantastic match.
Horrible ending, obviously.
Obviously.
DQ, which hopefully that doesn't mean he's going to lose his opportunity for the rematch for the belt. Anytime that someone gets screwed over in the rematch, I feel they should get the opportunity back. But I think obviously we got a program with Rollins and Ziggler. But what I caught out of that, we have the potential for a program with McIntyre and Roman. And seeing the two of them in the ring, I mean, they don't have that much of a difference of a look from each other. I was actually kind of interested in that and seeing where that goes, because I think that between the four of them, we can have a really great program, whether it's tag team, meetups here and there or one-on-ones. But I think that Roman McIntyre can be something of quality. I'm actually more interested in a program between Roman and McIntyre than I am with Roman and Bob.
Oh, same
absolutely.
Here.
And they're about the same except for about 4 inches in height,
Yeah.
No, yeah, I think we mentioned this about a week or two ago. There's a shift happening in Roman. I think Roman Reigns is finally starting. I don't want to say to get acceptance, but I think it's definitely, you're starting to see a shift to where people aren't hating them as much, and I think it's because they've started getting him into some better storylines where he's not the main focus point. He's not going for the championship, and I agree. I think him and McIntyre would be a phenomenal rivalry. I think that would be great. Those guys both match up size, speed, strength. I would be very interested to see them pull out a freaking 4 or 5 month rivalry, quite frankly, and run it through SummerSlam and beyond.
Yeah, and even if you look at the end of last year when Roman had, even last year when he had, whether it was the U.S. title or the IC title, Roman was putting over a lot of talent. Whether he won the program or not, he was putting a lot of talent over. So whether with this, if he has something going on with McIntyre, whether it be kind of intermittent between this thing with Bobby Lashley or whatever it may be, I think this is going to be big for McIntyre. I think this is going to be the one that really gets him, elevated to that next level. Not just Ziggler's, Diesel sidekick, but to be a solo artist too out there. Even if Roman were to win the program, but I think at this point too, like we can go the route with, Roman could lose this program and still be fine. But it's going to be him getting another talent up and over. Goes on to another friendship match and kind of a friendship connection, and that's with the six person tag match with Sasha, Bayley, and Ember, and versus the Riot Squad, and you're representing right there.
Yeah,
dude.
The fact that Riot Squad got that match, and it's, whatever it is, I don't even care about the match at that point. But what I'm excited about is the fact that Bayley finally turned on Sasha.
Yes.
Goodness.
Yes.
About damn time. I mean, we've only been talking about it for 18 months now.
Yeah.
And it finally came through. Let's just hope that next week we're not hugging it out, becoming BFFs again. But I saw something different in Bayley this time, and it wasn't just I'm over it and I'm going to take you out real quick, but there was some aggression there. How many times did she come back? How many times did she kick her in the head or do something to her? But she came back multiple times, not just a takedown and take off kind of thing. And that kind of got me interested in it. And I really hope that this gets Bayley on some kind of run to where she moves elevated to a higher quality compared to the last year and a half or so. If they kind of just let her go to the waste. I think
they're going to punch you in the mouth. That's what it was right there. That was awesome. Her just pounding on Sasha.
Man.
It was, you could just see the release, man, and all the fans reacted perfectly too. They were like, hell yeah, they were all behind it. I think there was even a chant to say doing it again or something like that one more time. I mean, it was exactly what Bayley needs.
It was, and the way it imploded, how it just finally happened based on what happened with last week, and then compared to it now, just losing the match and then her just coming in, you're like, all right, enough's enough.
And not only that, but the way it happened too, it wasn't I'm sorry we lost and let's meet up and are we gonna shake hands and we hug it out. It was Sasha sitting down the ground in defeat, and Bayley come out of the back and just from behind just nail her while she's already on the ground. And that was the best part of the entire thing. It wasn't let's hug it out again. Okay, I'm done. No, it was
it was the snap. It was just I'm done. Bam.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that, dude. I've been waiting for Bayley to finally pop. And like I said, Hugger's gonna punch now. That's what she needs.
Absolutely.
Punch you right in the freaking jaw, man. Yeah.
The next thing, or the next two big things come out of kind of associated together. The Roman and Bobby Lashley promos, and saw something a little different out of Bobby Lashley. He kind of held his own with the mic right there, what they kind of wasn't expecting. But man, Roman let him have it.
He did.
It's those moments where Roman has those intermittent promos that are just like, wow, where did that come from? And he got to have, and you saw the aggression in his face, the tone in his voice, and staring him down. It wasn't, he didn't, even when Bobby Lashley was responding back, there was no smart ass grin or shit-eating grin on his face. It was, I'm going to stare at you because I'm about to knock you in the face if you don't shut your mouth kind of thing. And that's what we need from Roman Reigns. And I hope it keeps going that route. We see it more and more often. And they just need to go forward and leave it be at that level nonstop. What do you got,
second best promo that Roman has done in like a long time. First one, obviously. The first one. Go ahead.
Where were both those promos given?
This year.
Where?
Oh, in Southern California, down here in the hometown.
Oh, right there, same place.
One in Anaheim, and then the other one down in San Diego.
Don't make me cry because I'm in San Diego. Yeah, I didn't get to that shit.
Yeah,
it's all good.
I wasn't able to go.
I almost went to Smackdown on.
I did too. I was this close to going. I
could have held hands together, guys. Come on.
Once I saw Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, I was like, damn, I knew I should have went. But anyways, I digress.
Well, Allison Brie too, but that's
I concur that promo that freaking Bobby Lashley cut. It was finally the Bobby Lashley that needed to come out. He wasn't so soft spoken. He was direct and to the point. It was the same exact thing. He wanted to punch him out. He had that anger. It's kind of like what we're wanting. It's like with Ronda Rousey, same thing. We want anger. We don't want these happy people, man. I see Bobby Lashley kicking someone's ass in Strikeforce. I don't want Bobby Lashley coming out here smiling.
Yep,
I mean, that's what's worked for Brock.
It was kind of the promo he absolutely needed to rinse his mouth of Sami Zayn. He needed something, a solid comeback to kind of erase that. Which leads to the whole thing with the promo involved Kurt Angle and We're no longer getting the multi-man, challenge for the number one contendership at Extreme Rules. Not really sure what that was going to entail, how many people, what the Extreme Rules part of it was, but the reasoning behind that, man, all I got. Brock Lesnar needs to go. I cannot stand it. I cannot stress it. It's just, the fact they're letting him, dictate when and where and who and how he's going to fight. And not even him. It's coming down from a tweet from Paul Heyman. Are you joking right now? You're the employer. You get your ass out there and you schedule something. He has no say in one. He's got a contract. You make that happen. But now we're not getting Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam as of right now. We're not getting the number one contenders match at Extreme Rules. So what are we going to do? We're going to get Roman versus Bobby, which leads to the tag team match against the Revival. I get things happen, and I know there's, when two forces are going to meet, they're going to bump each other, and they're going to cause each other to lose matches, and it just progresses the program. But really, the Revival, you got to have them lose.
I knew that was coming. I knew it.
There's so many. You could have had them lose to Slater and Rhino, and I would have been okay with it.
Yeah.
You could have had them lose to the schmoes that the Authors of Pain smashed that night. I would have been okay with it.
The Muffin Tops.
Yeah.
So I like to call the Revival the Muffin Tops. It's bad when you get somebody posting on Facebook a picture of the championship belt with the little thing underneath it that says, just in case if you forgot what it looked like. That's how bad it is right now on Raw. I concur. I like Brock Lesnar when he's fighting and when he's doing his thing. I really do. I like watching him these matches. His last couple matches, Randy Orton and whatnot, they were great matches. I am now officially done with what WWE is doing. This is freaking stupid as all crap. You got the WWE Raw title sitting on someone's shelf, sitting in a case somewhere, not being defended. This is ridiculous, man.
No, go ahead. That's exactly what I wanted to say. Was say fuck Brock Lesnar. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's not even just F Brock Lesnar. It's just what the F are they doing, man? Like, I haven't seen a championship match. I haven't seen a belt. I haven't seen anything. The Raw doesn't have a freaking champion right now, in a sense. And it's stupid.
And that's kind of what the storyline of, kind of like with last week too. Like where, Roman's like, the reason everyone's running amok, you don't have a handle here is because you don't have a guy at the top here week in, week out defending it. And that's kind of leading to more of the animosity and probably the whole reason why we have Constable Baron Corbin, which I'm on board with.
No, I'm not. No.
I like it. I like it. It's something different for Baron Corbin. I like it. That's me because I am a fan of Baron Corbin. So you guys can hate on me all you want.
I like the character he's becoming as far as he got rid of the long hair.
Yeah, I'm glad he gave up on the hair. How about that? Yeah, that hair was hanging by a thread.
Well, I was like he had to because the hair was kind of giving up on him. But the whole, Stephanie McMahon told me this, or I'm Stephanie McMahon appointed. It's just like, dude, what the hell is the point of having, Kurt Angle there and Baron Corbin's there? It doesn't make no sense. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. Back when we had, Sheriff Austin or whatever we had back then, it was actually, there was some quality. There was a reason for it. This came out of nowhere, and it just came out of nowhere because Corbin has nothing to go for. There's no use for him, with the exception of getting his ass beat by, Finn Balor and Braun Strowman. But yeah, I mean, that's just.
I'm just waiting for him to say, and I quote, because that's literally what this is now. This is stupid Raw general manager freaking IMing from a stupid ass computer and Michael Cole arena shit. Baron Corbin's, I said this when it first happened, and I do believe we tweeted it as well. I'm sure you could probably figure out of the three of us, if you're watching the show, who made this tweet. It's a dumb ass angle. I'm not a big fan of Baron Corbin per se. The persona has been a pain in the ass. His in-ring skills are good, but I've even heard that he's had problems in the back and everything. Whatever. The freaking persona, the Constable Corbin is garbage. It's a hot mess of garbage. It's a waste of talent. I'm glad he gave up on his hair. It's a better look. Get him back in the freaking road letters, not a freaking vest and freaking slacks and have him start kicking the crap out of people again. This is crap, man. Kurt Angle, having him as a GM has been working really good. It's been good. When they brought in Stephanie McMahon to Triple H, it kind of sucked. When they move away, it works again. Like, it works. And then you bring in this Baron Corbin crap. And I'm getting tired of Raw right now. Like, SmackDown has the better show because they have a champion that fights every week, and they don't have to deal with jackass Baron Corbin, Constable Corbin, whatever the hell you want to call it.
But we have James Ellsworth to deal with now.
We haven't gotten to SmackDown yet to start ripping on No Chin yet. You got to wait on that one, man.
So, I mean, to go with that, there's just two more things. I mean, Authors of Pain, they're just their first match back, and they're going to smash matches again. And, I'm cool with the smash match. That's not a problem. But let's make it again. When it comes to tag teams, Raw has the larger tag team division, and they have more of those mid-grade jobbers. And they have plenty of guys as tag teams that they can just be smashed through Authors of Pain and let them move up the roster and to the point where they're number one contenders or whatever it may be. But, bringing this local talent in just for them to tear apart for 30 seconds and then walk out does nothing for nobody. I don't want to watch it. Does nothing to progress the Authors of Pain. And nobody knows who these Joe Schmoes are unless you're, James Ellsworth and you got any hand, can beat anyone. You're nobody. So, and even James Ellsworth is a nobody. So that's just a waste of time. And it's like, you're wasting talent right there that could be a great asset to the program. I
like the new looks, though. One of them's growing hair. It works.
Yeah. So there's two more things. The whole promo with Mickey and Alexa. I love what Alexa does in that ring. As far as on the mic, she's probably one of the best heels on the entire roster of any brand they have. But man, when Natalya comes out, I just want to put a paper bag on her face and take the mic out of her hand because she's horrible. She just can't sell a single thing she says. My friend Ronda, when she comes back, no one gives a shit. Shut up, go to the back, move on to the next one. It's this whole 30-day suspension for Ronda, whatever it may be, whatever's going on. I think it hurts the storyline. Natalya doesn't do anything for it whatsoever. So it's just, these are two talents that they have that could be used better that Raw and WWE is just not utilizing, especially on a 3-hour show. That's their mainstay show like Raw.
Not only that too. It's you have Natalya come out with Nia, who a couple weeks ago they had a match, and we saw it was nothing Nia did that caused the injury to Natalya. But what's the angle you're trying to play with Natalya with Nia and stuff like that? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, 1 week they're friends, 1 week they're enemies, 1 week they're friends. I said this a couple weeks ago. You could have done a way better promo match between Nia and Ronda. They've just done, hey, I'm the champion. I know all these people may have other shots, but I'm challenging you because I'm the irresistible force. You are the baddest one on the planet. Let's have a match and see what happens. They and I've said it before, they could have built it up. Instead, you're throwing Natalya in the mix with it, and then 1 week she's buddy-buddy with Natalya, next week she's like, we got this, what's the angle? What are you trying to do? And it's like you said, to your point, it's hurting the storyline.
Well, okay, so my 2 cents on this is twofold. You're jumping on Nia Jax and Natalya. Okay, I agree with you on Alexa Bliss, but what the hell is with the Mickey James friendship on stuff? I can't stand it. Mickey James should win a title so she could tie freaking Trish Stratus. I think she's earned that, but they haven't done crap with her. And it's getting damn ridiculous that she's Alexa Bliss's friend and not doing shit with her. And then second of all, how sad is it that Nia Jax is in home in San Diego and they don't even give her the respect they having her do a match, which pisses me off. That pisses me off because that would have been a big pop. Because the first thing they'd say is from San Diego, California, and everyone will go ballistic. And they didn't do that. They just had her come out as Natalya's muscle for the show. And they didn't even announce her. It was just her music. So she didn't even get the from San Diego, California. And that goes to show that the writers for Raw and SmackDown or whatever, whoever's running the show better pray to God that Triple H fails in NXT Europe, because if he doesn't, their jobs are done because they're running the shows like crap. In a nutshell, to me right now, Raw's pissing me off. I have Hulu Live. All right. Hulu Live is great because I can watch TV without having to sit there and pay for cable. But then Hulu also sucks because if I don't watch Raw live, I only get to watch the hour-and-a-half condensed version of Raw. You know what? I'm fine with watching the hour-and-a-half condensed version of Raw because right now I'm not missing crap. Raw is starting to drag. Yeah. No championship matches, and your top belt right now is your Intercontinental Championship. Your tag team division isn't really, there's not much going on. I'm getting more of a tag team pop off of SmackDown. And the women's division just falling apart. You've got the baddest woman on the planet who's now on a 30-day suspension. You got Constable Baron Corbin. Crap, dude. You got Kurt Angle. I mean, it's just freaking nerve-wracking that it's just dumbfounding me that you have the best show that was running for a long time, and now it looks like shit all of a sudden. Just like overnight. It's horrible.
Absolutely. And that kind of leads into the main, the last match, or the match with Braun, KO versus Finn and Baron. Not really sure where this whole thing came from, as far as Braun felt sorry for not reaching out to him, and when he tried making friendships the week before and whatnot. But the 2 or 3 weeks before that, him and Balor are best friends. And now we're going to have them tagging against each other?
Yeah, I thought that too. I was like, what's up with that? You're like, my buddy Finn. And then well, you two aren't doing anything.
Yeah, and then, obviously Baron Corbin, I really don't want to see him in the match. And I think what this kind of comes down to, we got 2 tag team matches, or we got 2 tag teams in this match, and it's going to end up splintering off and becoming 2 programs. We're going to get Braun versus KO, which I'm okay with watching. I don't mind seeing that match. I think that'd be a good decent program. KO, I think KO's a great performer. I think Braun is someone that can hold his own with him. Not the greatest performer, but enough power. He's the power to against KO. Balor and Baron Corbin's a program I do not want to see. I feel that program is going to bring Balor down, much like the Baron and Ziggler did for Ziggler. But it's a match that's going to get a program for 4 guys who 3 of them should be in that top of the roster, that picture for the title. It gives them something to do when there's no title to be defended on. And that goes back to the whole Brock Lesnar thing. And it's just, having Brock Lesnar on this roster, it's just bringing the entire show and program down, the entire brand down. Let him be that attraction, get the belt off him, make, so that everyone else on the roster can go for that, and make him that wild card free agent like John Cena is, and let him go from show to show if he wants to and just beat up anybody he wants to. If that's the case, I'm good with that. But, having these thrown together matches like programs, Balor and Corbin, not interested in it, not one bit. And with that, that's pretty much the recap from Monday's Raw.
So Raw in a nutshell is like this. If you want to hear about what I think about Raw, just rewind about 2 minutes ago and you'll hear my rant. The other things about it is they have no champ, which sucks. So like you said, these matches are all patched together, just trying the monster in the bank. That's the other thing that bugs me about Raw right now. How many freaking times do I got to hear the big dog, Roman Reigns? How many times do I hear the monster in the bank or monster among
the Kingslayer?
Oh my God, dude. Michael Cole, put a sock in it, bro. I know you're the voice, but you're never going to be JR and you're never going to be the king. So find something else better to do, dude. You keep naming off the big dog.
There you go, Michael Cole. The Rock's electrifying t-shirt. Put it on and don't move, jabroni.
Yeah. Or it's boss time. I just can't stand it anymore. And that's what Raw is really right now, is the epitome of I can't stand it anymore. So that's my freak. You want to add to it, or you want to go to SmackDown?
How about I just say this? Let's go to the A show now, shall we?
Yes, let's do that. Let's talk about the A show.
Let's go to the no show. Because
hey, you're jumping ahead.
It's called a tease. It's called a tease.
I'm teasing
Broadcasting 101.
Hey, it's called
So
my freak, before you jump into it, you do have to give him the benefit of the doubt because he did take Raw. He got the shit show.
He did.
He
did. And you know what? He got the shit show to review this week. I got the better show. So why don't you just drink it in, man? Perfect way to insert that. Okay, on to SmackDown. I thought SmackDown was interesting this week. We saw there's some good stuff to build up for Extreme Rules. There it is. Yes. Kind of starting out with the show, we had Miz TV with the Bludgeon Brothers. It was an interesting Miz TV because most of the time when Miz TV, when Miz has guests on there, he'll he'll talk with them and whatnot. But you just had the Bludgeon Brothers just standing there in the middle of the ring with their mallets, just like.
Which was perfect for him because they can't do anything else.
It was fantastic, and then I thought this was going to be the setup to okay, is this what we're going to get Daniel Bryan and the Miz finally started because where he's just like Miz, and when he came out, it was like Miz, shut up. And he kind of went on. It's like, I could take any one of you. It's just, who's it going to be? And then Miz was getting ready to jump, and then Harper's like, let's go. So kind of a good build-up, set up for that match later on in the night.
I'm okay with, because I like watching Harper in the ring.
Oh, I do too.
A guy like that can do, you don't want to see Rowan in their match at all. But yeah, I feel like I don't want to see that payoff with the Miz and Daniel Bryan at this moment.
Yeah. But that kind of leads us into the first match of the night. Xavier Woods versus Rusev. I thought it was a good match. There's a lot of speculation too, kind of looking over the past couple weeks. You had Kofi in Money in the Bank. He didn't win that. Last week you had a good match with the Miz with Big E and Daniel Bryan in the Gauntlet match where Big E unfortunately lost. And then tonight you have Xavier Woods going in against Rusev and then losing to Rusev. So I'm not sure is this kind of starting the downward spiral of the separation of New Day? I think it might be. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the New Day. I love how they are together. But you know what? It's. I think you said it last week, Vader. The fact that it's they're a team that's been around for about 4 years or so, 3 or 4 years. That's old in wrestling terms as far as being a team. So kind of interesting to see them go their separate ways and see what happens with that. But also with the little promo at the end of it, Rusev's this match was not just forget about Xavier. AJ, I'm coming for you. Watch out because I'm going to win the title on Rusev Day.
So what?
Definitely win the match.
I figured out New Day's thing, man. They're carb loading too much, dude. Ditch the freaking pancakes and go back to the Bootie-Os.
They did. They got milkshakes now.
Yeah.
No. Ditch the pancake milkshakes and go back to the Bootie-Os.
Corey Graves said it best. Is why are you blending? Why are you putting a pancake in a blender? It just becomes batter again.
Yeah. But remember, Bootie-Os, they make sure you're not booty.
Which, what have we been seeing from the New Day?
Booty, because they're drinking in pancake shakes. Get rid of pancakes. I thought that was a stupid name. I don't care to
bring back Bootie-Os, man. You can at least bring back the booty popsicles or whatever they are. It's summertime. Bring back the icicles. But they need this, the popcorn or the pancakes. It's getting ridiculous now.
Yeah, I need them to salvage New Day. It's not because I need to. It's because New Day is still 4 years is old, but they're still relevant and they're still good. It's just they made it go too far. Scale it back. Go back to Bootie-Os. Go back to doing your thing. But at the same time, though, I really do think people are disappointed in New Day because everyone was expecting the Xavier Woods push, and they're not getting it. And it's frustrating. You can keep the New Day together. You can keep Kofi and Big E as a tag team and start pushing Xavier Woods into single matches. That's what everyone wants. But once again, the stupid-ass writers aren't listening or looking at what the fans want. They're just writing their own crap. And it's one of those things where, unfortunately, New Day is falling on the freaking proverbial writer's sword. And, I hope they pull their heads out of their asses and fix it.
Oh,
Sorry,
absolutely.
Chris. Go ahead, buddy. Sorry.
No, you're
Back
good,
to the
man.
A show.
Back to the A show. Next, we had the United States Open Challenge, which it was supposed to be Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy. But Nakamura was injured the night before at a live event out in Bakersfield.
By who? The big dog.
No.
Or a dog.
It was. I actually
It was a big dog.
It was the security dog, and he, they did the the sniff or drug veterinary or whatever, but for some reason the dog just bit him.
It was Matilda from the Blair's Bulldogs.
So we saw an open challenge, to which Sanity came out, and Eric Young kind of stepped up.
Time.
I know, right? So we saw one of the biggest, most like blatant botches we've ever seen in a long time happen at like the very beginning of that match. Like I saw it, I was just like, wow, that was bad.
Yep.
But it's interesting enough, to see the match. Overall, the starting of the match, it was a good match. Young just was kind of just doing his thing, like kind of does, being that that aggressor, and was taking the fight to Hardy. But then, out of nowhere, here come the Usos, to kind of just jump in based on the when they got jumped by Sanity last week before their match even started, which led into a 6-man tag team match between Sanity versus the Usos and Jeff Hardy, which the team of Hardy and the Usos I actually liked.
Fantastic.
It was
the first time they've teamed up together either.
Yeah.
Every time they're together, it's been great. Every time Jeff has filled in for somebody in a different tag team, whether it be with them, whether it be, I think he at one point was with the New Day for a moment. I think there was a match. I can't remember too sure. Well, but even when he filled in with Shield, and fought with Dean and Seth, Jeff still has it, and he's putting on some great matches. And with him and the Usos, that chemistry the three of them have. I mean, it's almost like saying Team Extreme 2.0 or something, Oh,
absolutely. I mean, because you have the high flying stuff that the Usos do. Combine that with the Team Extreme 2.0. So it'll be interesting to see if they kind of go into a program with this for a couple. Maybe it could lead up to a 6-man tag team at Extreme Rules. I don't know.
It's not going to happen. They're gonna. So here's what I think. I'm gonna do the Vader predicts it thing. Jeff Hardy's starting to do his transition to that whole like Woken Hardy kind of scenario or something.
Brother Nero.
Excuse me. He's starting to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you right now, man. He's going to join up with his brother and freaking Bray Wyatt.
Well, not only that, but I was reading a report this week that apparently he's not using a senton bomb at live shows. Not outside of SmackDown. But apparently he's not using his regular finishers at those events either. So, this transition is getting to the point where we're going to see this transition really quick for Jeff Hardy. And it's exact. I mean, he does great what he does now. But I think once we see this transition, it's going to be a totally different thing. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be fantastic when that happens. Going on to the next one, we had Becky Lynch versus Sonya Deville. Becky picking up steam, winning some matches, and it's good. It's about time that she got on the winning track. I know Marty said it a couple weeks ago, the fact that what's been going on with her, they needed to kind of do something new with her, and she's starting to build momentum. So it'd be interesting to see the kind of route that they kind of go with her later on down the road. I know Marty had a slight heart attack when Sonya Deville ran into Mandy Rose, but we'll skip that.
I actually think he paused that.
I think
I may have been on the edge of my seat at that moment.
You and Corey Graves, man. I swear.
Mm-hmm.
The next one leads to kind of I don't know what to think of this one.
It's a waste of time and TV time. Is exactly what it is.
What?
Go ahead.
Wait, I'm not, which one do you think I'm talking about?
I hope you don't go to the main one, because there's one more thing in there that's irritating as all hell, and that's the Asuka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting that one. I'm talking about the backstage one with Trinity Or Naomi. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Glow.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
The whole Glow thing. Like,
the season 2 is coming out on Netflix.
But
you know who we missed though, and I don't know if you noticed that, but Awesome Kong wasn't in there because she's one of the actors in that show. She plays one of the characters, and for some reason they didn't want to bring her out. I wonder why.
I don't know. They didn't have half the cast there though. There was a bunch of people.
Yeah, but she's one of the main actresses though. I mean, so it was interesting not to see her, especially with her ties to WWE. So,
but the reason I'm bringing this up is because like the way that they were talking backstage, it kind of sounds like we would make a pretty good team. So like,
Lana and Naomi.
Yeah, Lana and Naomi. I always say Trinity. It's old divas. Duh. Sorry. Lana and Naomi. Like, is this a hint that we're seeing some women's tag titles coming out? Are they trying to like slowly hint at it?
I already called it. We're going to get women's tag team matches at SummerSlam.
Yeah, but we were expecting that Money in the Bank, so your call is a little late on that one.
No, he said SummerSlam. He said SummerSlam.
Money in the Bank was a tag team ladder match. I didn't say women's. I said tag team ladder match.
Gotcha. All right, I'll give you that one.
Now leads to the
No chin
promo. What in the world? Just setting the record straight. Next week it's going to be Asuka versus No Chin. So
yeah. So this is the second match against a female too, right?
Yeah, Becky was the first one.
Yeah. So once again, it goes to show you that this is how desperate WWE right now is with some of their stuff. Carmella cannot keep going by herself. That's why they had to bring freaking No Chin back. And it sucks. I can't. Asuka should have a belt. She's gone too long without one. She's one of the most.
Win it here at
yeah, she will. She'll. And it's gonna be nice to watch No Chin get his arm ripped off, or I don't know, whatever she's gonna do to him. I hope she beats him, not in 2 seconds, but like in 20 minutes. I want to see a complete beatdown. But what more likely will end up happening is the match will start, and then somehow Carmella will get involved, and then Asuka's gonna get pinned by No Chin. I called it. Because writers are freaking frustrating as all shit right now.
As long as it leads to a cage match between Asuka and Carmella, for Asuka just to beat the crap out of her,
that would be nice.
I'm down because I think Carmella's had a run. I think it's done. I think they need to push her aside and let Asuka dominate and make it more believable, because just like how the heavyweight champion, or how the championship on the Raw side is going, the women's championship on the SmackDown side is starting to lose its luster a little bit. It is.
Mela is money.
No, Mela's gone bankrupt.
Yeah. James Ellsworth.
Yeah, I know. No, I know.
Right now.
No, I know.
James
She went bankrupt when Ellsworth came back. I totally agree with that.
We just need Asuka to win this belt so that Becky can come in and take it from her.
How happy were we when Ellsworth was gone? How happy were we when I reported that Ellsworth was not only gone, but he won a championship belt with an independent?
What's up with that? I didn't see him lose it.
And all of a sudden he's back on WWE Network. You know why? Because Carmella ain't shit.
And I've been looking. I cannot find anything with his contract in there. So it's like, oh, please don't be permanent. Please don't be long term. Please let this end at the program, and then he be gone for good, so we never see him again.
Yep. Which leads into the last match of the night.
No.
Harper versus Rowan. And overall,
wait. Harper versus Ronan.
I mean Brian, sorry. I'm tired. Shut up. No, Harper versus Brian. And overall, it was a great match. It's the little guy going up, who has the bigger the guy or the bigger the heart. And I thought it was a great match, going back and forth, and he was giving it to Harper. First time in a while that we've seen, Harper come back as a Bludgeon Brothers where he's kind of having a hard time against somebody. I do want to say that before the match started, it was funny to see him doing like little warm-up punches with the Good Brothers. I thought that was pretty funny. But what was even better was the fact he was doing the warm-up punches, and then you see him in the background counting his abs. He's counting his abs. Come on, Abs Anderson.
Abs Anderson was counting his abs while he's punching, and then he gets to 8 and he goes, that was awesome. That was awesome.
But when it looked like Daniel was about to get the win, Rowan jumped in, kind of caused the DQ in the match. They were kind of wailing on him a little bit, and then something happened.
Mayor Kane, the
return of the Devil's favorite demon, Kane, returned, and we saw the reunion at Team Hell No. Not only that, Team Hell No versus the Bludgeon Brothers at Extreme Rules for the tag titles.
Can I say that I'm a little disappointed that he didn't wear like a campaign shirt?
He didn't come back as corporate Kane.
Come on, no, not corporate. No, totally be Kane, but just come out with vote for Mayor Jacobs.
Out on the head, not on his shirt.
Right.
But it was awesome to see it, man, and have him hug it out at the end.
Yeah.
The fans were all into it. They're like, hug it out. They're like,
Not only that, but the second hug where Daniel ran and jumped into his arm.
Oh, yes.
That was fantastic.
It was.
It reminded me of like after the therapy sessions when they hugged it out and went, they started, yes, because that's when we got the yes movement. It was after the therapy sessions. And It was fantastic. And just seeing the two of them together, we tweeted it out. But man, I hope they win those belts because I would love to see the two of them together.
I'm interested to see that, but at the same time, though, secretly I don't want them to win. And the reason why I say that is because now you have Daniel Bryan, Team Hell No with Kane running a championship run. You know it's only going to be a short-term thing because Kane's going to have to jump out of here pretty soon. He's got his own personal life. He's got to start doing his thing in the personal life to win an election. So that means he's not going to be able to wrestle. Huh?
He already won.
He didn't win. I think he won the nomination. Now he's got to actually run for the actual. He's got to run for it. So he's not. He's going to be short-term. Like he'll be here for maybe the summer.
Here's what I think is coming on right here. I think that they're going to take the straps off the Bludgeon Brothers. I like the Bludgeon Brothers. I think they're a good team together. Obviously, they have chemistry. But I think for the WWE side, I think they might be seeing them running somewhat flat. And I think by taking it off and giving it to Daniel and Kane, even though maybe just a betweener reign, it kind of builds it up a little bit more. And it has a little bit of a run to it to where some excitement comes back to that belt. So that the next team that comes in, there's something behind them to win those belts. Rather than if another team comes in and wins it off the Bludgeon Brothers, there'll be excitement because it's off the Bludgeon Brothers. But there's nothing positive or no kind of.
There's no validity with the new tag team that comes into winning.
Bring that belt up, elevate it to where a win to another team is going to make it better. If it was the Usos, it's one thing. But, I think it's going to be a team that hasn't won the belt.
The Good Brothers.
And that's where I think it's going to come into.
The Muffin Tops. Oh, wait, wrong show.
Festus. It's Festus, as you like to call it.
Festus.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the recap with SmackDown.
Yeah, SmackDown's the A show, and I'm going to tell you it's getting better because they finally got rid of the AJ Nakamura. I'll be perfectly honest. I think that's really what's starting to make SmackDown come out is because I think that was dragging it down. And I really hope that Nakamura takes a couple weeks off and they can figure out something better for him to do other than low blow people all the time. Let him be a badass, but quit low blowing. It ran its course.
Maybe the next program he has, whoever he's in a program with, just tell him, hey, low blow, dog bite. Karma's a bitch. Don't do it again.
There you go.
So that is our review of the week for WWE. Now I want to roll back to Janetty and Marty here for just a minute because like we mentioned before, we want to start chatting about these other groups as well. Marty's going to give us a quick intro or give us a quick preview for the upcoming weekend pay-per-view for Ring of Honor. Go for it, Marty.
Yeah, not only that. So Friday night, there's this weekend we have Best in the World coming from Baltimore for Ring of Honor pay-per-view event. A lot of things happening on here. a lot of different matches going on. We got the Ring of Honor World Championship match, and this is going to be a triple threat match between Marty Scurll, Cody Rhodes or Cody, and Dalton Castle. Castle won the belt from Cody back in December. Marty and Cody being part of the Bullet Club, friends. This is Cody's rematch clause. He hasn't pushed in for his rematch. Marty won the opportunity to face Castle for the title, and Cody inserted himself as his rematch, making a triple threat match for the world title, and I think that's an awesome match. All the titles are being defended on this card. Got the World Tag Team titles. Young Bucks are facing the Briscoes, and that's been a great program so far. The Briscoes are phenomenal. I mean, they're just these backward looking guys, and they're just they've been dominating so much. But the Young Bucks are just so innovative, and they're the Bucks, man. They're young. They're
the Young Bucks. Go figure.
Hometown heroes.
Right, exactly, man. But I think that's a good tag team match. Then they have the World Six-Man Championship match between the Kingdom and Los Ingobernables de Japan. Just another. That's one thing I like about New Japan, Ring of Honor. They have these six-man title matches. It gives more belts. It gives more guys involved in the title runs rather than having 2 or 3 titles that everyone is trying to shoot for. We got Flip Gordon, who's a young athletic guy, former military, just coming in the match, facing Bully Ray. Me personally, I can't stand Bully Ray. I think he's an obnoxious jackass who just needs to retire and walk away into the sunset and leave things be. But he's, this guy who's just pissed off because younger guys are getting different opportunities to come into the organization and in the industry that he didn't take. And he's just, bitter old man. Like, get off my lawn kind of thing. So it's like, Bully Ray, got your ring, you have your history, retire, go away, get the hell out of the sight from everybody else. They have an 8 women's tag match, and this is there's a bunch of different names in here. A lot of great talent on the Women of Honor roster, and this match does include Tenille Dashwood, otherwise formerly known as Emma. Who's become a great talent outside of the WWE, much like Cody has. Maybe not to the same level because Cody's dominating the world right now. But Emma, she's got this match. It's just, you got 8 women in the match at one time, and all 8 women are talented women. It's not like where you have, 8 women from the main roster from WWE where you have, Carmella or Lana or, somebody don't end the match just there to fill a spot. You have 4 on 4 of women who are actually talented all the way through and through. Have Jay Lethal versus Kushida. Basically, Jay Lethal's path to kind of get him into that title picture hasn't been kind of put there. Kind of gets him the opportunity. More Bullet Club with Hangman Page fighting Punishment Martinez, trying to get that Ring of Honor TV title off him. Basically, you have Bullet Club fighting for every title on this card. Even Austin Aries, who's an Impact guy, who's a title holder everywhere else. He's making an appearance on this pay-per-view, fighting Kenny King. Outside WWE, anytime you get Austin Aries in the ring, it's usually a pretty damn good match. But the big thing about the Ring of Honor card is that triple threat match for the world title between Castle, Cody, and Marty Scurll. And I was talking about earlier how the next 4 months is going to be big for Ring of Honor New Japan. And Cody himself. If he wins this match this weekend for that title, Nick Aldis, who is currently the NWA title holder, has already committed to hit the NWA title on the line at All In September 1st against Cody. So you're going to have the opportunity, if Cody wins tomorrow, to go all the way through the summer to All In as not only the Ring of Honor World title holder, but also the opportunity to become the NWA title holder. And not to take away from that, also have Cody fighting next month against Kenny Omega for G1 in San Francisco for the IWGP title. So at come All In, Cody Rhodes could essentially be going for the Triple Crown and having the 3 world titles from 3 different organizations across the world. That is something unheard of. And to see where Cody was a couple of years ago as far as in the WWE, as a jobber known as Stardust, jobbing out to his brother who's over the hill and retired anytime now. Probably not, but he should. Going for 3 titles across the world, and in the 2 of the biggest organizations out of the biggest competition in WWE, just fantastic. So the outcome from that one match has a lot to say about what can happen over the next 3 to 4 months outside of WWE. But just this card alone, there's so much wrestling on this card that if you're not in tune with outside WWE, you need to get on board with what's going on outside because you're missing out on a lot of great wrestling.
Now, you know what's interesting you say that, because as I've gotten into this podcast and I've said that we're going to be venturing out and stuff, I've been digging into other shows. I haven't seen them yet, but I've been just kind of like reading up and seeing those stuff. That piqued my that Austin Aries angle actually piqued my interest. And it kind of gave me, I looked at it and I thought it as twofold. First of all, WWE wasted that talent, just like they did with Cody Rhodes. I totally agree. And they're making the best of it. But it's a different angle, though, too, if you think about it. This is wrestling's gasp, in a sense. WWE is so big right now that it's pretty much running wreck shop. I see this as them joining up the New Japan Wrestling, TNA and stuff. Having him wrestle on this promo is just showing, I don't want to say desperation, but showing more of like trying to stop the juggernaut that is WWE. That they're going to going so far as to, if he does win this match, now you have the NWA title possibly, and then eventually the New Japan, where he could run the Triple Crown on these. That's an interesting scenario. That's showing that behind the scenes, they're trying to team up to somehow salvage what TNA, what left TNA has. Because be perfectly frank, man, Jay Lethal, dude, is still wrestling. Holy crap, bro! I didn't realize that, man. That guy's got to be pushing 50, and he was in ECW, man. So that means he's like 70 now.
ECW, he was in TNA. He's wrestling. He's not only wrestling in Ring of Honor, he's wrestling in New Japan also. So he's doing double time right now.
It's crazy, man. But it's also it's very interesting to see how where wrestling is now. I mean, that's why I'm very interested. I'm gonna probably get the app and check it out, man, because I really want to see where this goes, dude. Because they're really this is their fight, man. They're actually teaming up and fighting, man. This is like Justice League versus freaking Legion of Doom almost now.
Yeah.
So awesome. Thanks for the heads up on that. Yeah, guys, check that out. I'm going to be checking it out this weekend. I'm going to be introducing myself to some new wrestlers or some wrestlers I've only read about, never seen. Man, hour and a half, dude. We cut ourselves 15 minutes short. Ooh, yeah. Oh, man. Derek, MindFreak, where can we follow you, dude?
As always, on Twitter, located in the top corner, MindFreak MLG. Also follow me on Instagram at @just_MindFreak, and on Twitch. Catch me streaming on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at BTB MindFreak.
Nice. Janetty, Marty, where can we find you, buddy?
Got me at Marty_Vasquez 87, both Twitter and Instagram. Posting a bunch of things, hitting up wrestling at all times. I would love to talk about wrestling. Hit me up.
And of course, you can follow me, as you can see there, Masonic Vader. Also, you can follow me on PlayStation, Masonic Vader 71. Of course, please take a minute to subscribe or check out our Twitter page, check out our Instagram page, Malice Smack Talk. Kudos once again to our parent company, our parent show, Malice Corp. Once again, right there in that corner there. Check those guys out. They'll be having their main cast tomorrow night at 8 p.m. It's a great show every night. It's very interactive. And if you're seeing the shows after the fact on YouTube or whatever, you need to go there live, because like they say every week, man, you're watching a show and you're seeing this thing, but down below in that chat room, man, there's something totally different going on. And it's a crazy conversation every week. So thank you once again for everybody for watching the show tonight. Thanks to MindFreak and Marty. As you can see, MindFreak starting to fall asleep on us there. Those eyes are closing.
I'm good.
You're going, man. You're going. I'm right
fast. I'm
right behind you, man. Thank you.
Feel like
Thank
somebody
you guys.
got key to clutch on me right now, dude.
Oh yeah, man. Sleep has got you. Just give in. Let it go. Let it go.
Go to sleep.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching the show. We'll see you next week. Give me that 1, 2, 3. We're out.